Hello dear students, welcome to Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik. So student, in our previous lecture, we studied the environmental chemistry and the green chemistry. We also saw the role of a green chemistry in environmental chemistry. Now in the present lecture, we will deal with green chemistry and synthetic chemistry. Green chemistry and synthetic chemistry. We already introduced about the green chemistry, definition of a green chemistry and the goal of green chemistry. Now what is mean by the synthetic chemistry? Synthetic chemistry is the important branch of chemistry which deals with the developing in new chemicals and improving their method of synthesis. So the branch of chemistry which involves developing new chemicals and improving their method of synthesis. Actually, synthetic chemist involved in the green chemistry comparatively late. The analytical chemistry helps the discovery and the improvement as well as the monitoring of the pollution. Physical chemistry deals with to understand the photochemical phenomenon taking place in the environment. Other branches of the chemistry also contributes to study the various types of phenomenon taking place in the environment. Not only the chemistry, but in addition to that, the physics, geography, life science also contributes to study the various phenomenon taking place in the environment. In fact, if you think about the synthetic chemistry particularly, as per as the definition, in this branch, the development of a new chemical takes place and their method of synthesis is improved. Now, in order to develop a new chemicals and improving their method of preparation, the chemists were suffering from number of problems. The major problem is the separation, treatment and disposal of the waste product. Second is the hazards of the raw material. And the most of the cost of production is the treatment and disposal of the byproduct. And therefore, in order to solve this problem, along with the protection of environment, the green chemistry plays an important role. Because as per as the discussion about the green chemistry involves the development of a synthetic methodology in a such a way that the process will be eco-friendly, environmentally being. So friends, there are many more important tips given by the green chemistry. For example, avoiding the hazardous chemical as a starting material, means avoiding the hazardous feedstock. Then second is using a low toxic material, using a various types of renewable sources of the raw material, and the developing a methodology so that the minimum byproduct or no waste product will be obtained. Actually, there are two important conditions, or you can say the approaches of the green chemistry. Two important approaches of green chemistry. The eco-friendly synthesis can be achieved by two ways. That is the two approaches. The first approach is the use of existing chemical, but the synthesis is carried out by eco-friendly, environmentally being a process. So, the use of existing chemicals, but the method is environmentally being, means the grain process, grain method will be there. Or alternatively, use the raw material which is a non-toxic. So, use of environmentally being, or you can say the safe raw material. If you think about the key step of the green chemistry, the key step of green chemistry is the high economy. Key concept or step of green chemistry is atom economy. Maximum atom economy should be achieved. Now for that purpose, we will go through the certain examples. Suppose we took a first example, that is bromination of propene. Bromination of propene. So the reaction is in this way. Plus Br2, we will get a corresponding product, CH3 CHBr dash CH2Br. In this reaction, all the atoms of the reactants are present in the product. So the 100% atoms are converted into corresponding fruitful products or desired products, and therefore the atom economy in this reaction is 100%. Atom economy is 100%. Suppose we took another example, that is the synthesis of methyl methacrylate. Methyl methacrylate is an important starting material, that is the precursor for many more synthesis of drugs molecule. So the synthesis can be done by two different ways. The first way of a synthesis is that is method first. In method first, acetone is treated with hydrogen cyanide. Addition of hydrogen cyanide will take place. CH3, C, OH, CS3 and CN. This compound upon treatment with methyl alcohol, methanol, in presence of concentrated H2SO4 we will get the formation of a corresponding CH3, C, double bond CH2, single bond C double bond O, and OCH3. This is our desired product. Now in this reaction, the atom economy is only 47%. In method second, if we do the reaction of acetone with a palladium catalyst, we will get the formation of corresponding methyl methacrylate. And in this reaction, atom economy is 100%. So this is an important part. In the first reaction, the atom economy is achieved 100%. In second example, by two different methods, we will get a different atom economy. In the first method, atom economy is only 47%. In the second method, the atom economy is 100%. My intention is to tell you that the key concept of the green chemistry is the atom economy. The atom economy should be improved. So what is the intention behind the improvement of atom economy? Obviously, once the atom economy is high, the byproduct will be the low. It means the wastage will be the low. And once the wastage is low, obviously, the cost of treatment and disposal of a waste product is reduced. And therefore, economically, the high atom economical method will be the best one. And therefore, the green chemistry work on the basis of high atom economy. So it was an account about the atom economy. In fact, the ideal synthesis of the drug molecule or any product have a number of angles, number of approaches. First of all, you just record all these data, then we will talk about the ideal synthesis and the important aspects of the ideal synthesis. Okay, now we will talk about the various aspects of ideal synthesis. Ideal synthesis, consider various aspects given below. We will show the various aspects. Okay. The first important aspect is the safety. The ideal synthesis should be safe. Second thing, it should be environmentally acceptable. It should be environmentally acceptable. Next is that maximum yield should be there. So 100% yield is expected. 100% yield is expected. Atom efficient means atom economy should be high. Atom efficient. The next one is a simple reaction condition. no waste product should be there. No waste. It should be have a minimum step or one step. And the raw material, that is the feedstock, should be renewable. So, renewable feedstock. So these are the various aspects. It should be safe, environmentally acceptable, 100% yield, atom efficient, simple reaction condition, no waste should be there. It should have a minimum or one step, and the feedstock is renewable. So student, it was an account about the synthetic chemistry and the green chemistry. You just record these aspects by screenshot so that we will proceed towards the risk factor. Now the reduction of a risk. Reduction of a risk. In fact, it involves the hazard and exposure. Hazard and exposure. So friends, risk is the important part of the synthesis. Risk reduction is a goal of every synthetic procedure. Risk reduction is a goal of every synthetic procedure. Not only for the synthetic process or procedure, but the finished product, that is the finalized product, should be risk free. Actually, before setup of the procedure and the formation of the finished product, we should qualify the risk. The risk is the product of hazard and exposure. The risk is the product of hazard and exposure. So we can write equation for that. Risk is equal to F, proportionality factor, hazard into exposure. So hazard is nothing but how the material is toxic to the humans and environment. How much the material is toxic to humans and environment. Before planning a procedure and the production of a certain final product, means the finished product, we should examine the hazard, how much the material is toxic to human and the environment. Secondly, the exposure time. This is nothing but the time required to cause adverse effect. We call it as an exposure. As per the definition of the green chemistry and certain key points and the principles of the green chemistry, the hazardous raw material, hazardous intermediate and the product should be avoided. If we think about the exposure, that is the time required to cause the adverse effect. The exposure of the toxic material can be prevented by many more ways. The very straightforward and simple way is the use of personal protective equipments. Use of personal protective equipments helps to prevent exposure. For example, use of safety goggles, gloves, masks, shoes, apron, jackets, etc., etc. These are the personal protective equipments. The personal protective equipments reduces the exposure of the worker present in the industries. But on the another side, it never protect the persons who is outside the plant, who is present in the environment, because we are expecting to prevent everyone from the adverse effect of toxic material. By using a personal protective equipment, we can prevent the exposure of that worker present in the industry only. But what is about others? Those are present outside the plant and those are present in the environment. So this is the drawback of use of such type of toxic substances. In an industry, many volatile organic solvents are used, not only as a part of raw material, but for the cleaning purposes also. We are using a various volatile substances in industries. Various volatile solvents are used for cleaning and degreasing purpose. Degreasing means to remove the greases present on the metals and cleaning purposes. Obviously, these are the volatile one. The exposure of the person under such atmosphere, the volatile substances gets inhaled in the body, and the inhalation of such a volatile organic molecule causes a various types of diseases upon their exposure. Particularly, they causes a neuropathic diseases, respiratory diseases, and even the skin diseases also. And therefore, use of such volatile solvent for cleaning purpose and for degreasing purpose, the alternative should be used. Obviously, the alternative cleansing agent, which is a water based, should be used. the use of water base means the less hazardous or no hazardous cleansing agent will reduces the cost of a disposal also, because such a type of volatile solvents required to dispose after their use, it will contaminate the environment. And secondly, they also reduces the cost of control equipments or control measures, and hence instead of using such a type of material, the water based, less toxic, less hazardous cleansing agent should be used. So friends, it was an account about the reduction of a risk. As per as our discussion, a risk is the product of hazards and exposure. Now we will proceed towards the risk of no risk. The risk of no risk. A risk of no risk means what? So as per as the discussion, we should avoid the use of a toxic material for the synthesis of a finished product. But there are many more products which cannot be prepared by alternatives, substitutes, and therefore obviously under this condition we have to use a hazardous raw material, we have to produce a hazardous intermediate. But in that case we have to find a proper way to avoid the exposure, to avoid the risk. The most important key to take a risk of a no risk is the proper training. It is nothing but the proper training. Proper training. A well-trained worker, well-trained chemist will avoid the risk. Because as per as our discussion, a condition may be there, we have to use a hazardous material, no excuse is there, no any alternative is there. Under such circumstances, the worker should be the properly trained. The training should be given to the worker about the collecting the information about the material. Obviously, as per as the MSDS is provided by the raw material manufacturers. Second thing, the worker should be well trained how to handle the chemical, how to use the personal protective equipments during the handling, how to handle the product, which type of reactor should be used during the handling such a type of hazardous material, which provisions are there if a certain incidents occur during the method of preparation, what are the remedies for that. Obviously, the fire safety devices, water showers, various types of goggles, various types of safety equipments should be provided to the worker along with the proper training. If the worker or the chemist is well aware about the risk of the hazard, obviously the big risk will never occur, and therefore the proper way to have a risk of no risk is the proper training. Actually, if you think about the trainings and experiences of the worker or the chemist, various methodologies are set up in the industries. A proper channel of the expert persons are there. For example, supervisor, guide, team leader. In fact, these superpositions of different staffs in the industry should be achieved or should be appointed with the properly and well-trained person, so that the risk will be avoided. So student, it was an account about the risk of no risk. In our today's lecture. We studied the synthetic chemistry and green chemistry. We studied the risk, means the reduction of risk, and risk of no risk. I hope you enjoyed the session. In our next session, we will continue our discussion about the risk. So thank you very much.